So I'll first introduce this first chapter story with some background story to the main protagonist of my gang stalking. And these are things that the motherfucker did. I should have given an ass whooping beforehand. Let's see, in 2012, he called the cops on me when I was leaving the bar. He even asked me if he could have my gun before I left the bar and called the cops on me and got me my first DUI. Before that, though, he was into Satanism and playing on the dark web. And one of his first friends that he used to film him when he was high on air dusters because this kid was addicted to air dusters. And he would film him and he would put him on the internet and he would laugh his ass off. And I'm pretty much sure he used him for a satanic shame and humiliation practice ritual because he did the same thing to me years later. Hacked all of our phones, hacked all of our devices, streamed it all over the dark web. He pretty much set up a realistic Truman show of my life on the dark web, and had multiple people on the internet helping him organize it, stalking me. So after he got the DUI incident for me, he picked me and my girlfriend up. Well, after that, he got her name and shit. And this is when I should have beat the shit out of him the very first time. Is that he snuck behind my back, picked her up, picked up my best friend at the time, that he would eventually try to convince to try and kill me later. Sent me a video of those two naked together in the shower, trying to get me depressed to try and kill myself all the way back in 2014. That's when his attacks, after his first satanic humiliation ritual and the first kill took in, he got a taste for it and he decided to make me his next target for attack and assassination. So after that incident and after him, getting that and sending me that video, I was hooked on heroin at the time. So I was already distraught. I was already emotional. And when he sent me the video, my other friend was there at the time. The first thing I did was get depressed, start snorting me some heroin. It is what it is. So he'd been orchestrating and trying to set up my life ever since we met him at work. I had a friend living with me at the time. We both got a job at a factory. His dad became a night manager at the factory. He got fired along with half of them because I had my job that morning when I picked up a paycheck. After his dad went into work after that, I didn't have a job no more. Didn't have one. And as soon as he got fired, he pissed in a batch of chemicals, cost the company $40,000, called immigration on them, got half their workforce deported, called the IRS on them, all kinds of shit like that. So that's the type of person. I didn't like him. I didn't hang out with him. My buddy that was living with me at the time loved him to death, always wanted to be up there, and I was the guy with the car, so I'd go up there all the time. So I'd get stuck in that little situation. And that's the background story to how that began. Years later, while I'm dealing with the heroin, one buddy gets hooked on methamphetamine. All right. Everybody quit fucking with him because when he was on heroin, he started stealing from his friends and shit. So everybody just kind of kept their distance from him. I felt bad for him. Decided to go up there, start hanging out with him again. I got hooked back on heroin. I don't know when he started making meth. I don't know what it was. Basically, I was hanging out with the main protagonist's sister. And she was going in between boyfriends. She was addicted on drugs too. She was a meth head and, whatever, a drug addict. And basically what had happened was I started trying to help her out. And then I don't know if she got in some trouble or whatever, or that family loves turning people into the police department for whatever reason. I know my friend that I went to high school with, his buddy raped her at their house. She called the police department, and when the police department showed up there, they're like, well, they're saying you guys were never together, so she didn't even get justice for her rape. You know what I mean? And I didn't believe her at the time either, because I'm thinking like his parents wouldn't cover up a rape or nothing like that. It wasn't until years later that I realized the truth is that these people were that type of people. And so my buddy, I don't know if he got in trouble with the law or not, because or if he got told on or whatever. But he did end up getting 2 manufacturing charges. I know when I originally gave him a ride out there to go drop him and his supplies off one day, I did tell the main protagonist's sister where I was going, who was going to be there, and all that. And when we were there, 4 cops showed up. 4 cops showed up for everybody that was there. So his family snitched on him and me, saying we were out there manufacturing meth and stuff. I got arrested that night because I had a warrant for a failed court appointment. And then after that, they convinced him that I was the one that snitched on him. And then they started putting LSD. He started doing like little weird scare tactics and shit to me. I was like, Bub, I didn't snitch on you. He's like, who was you with? I was like, I was with her. And then I guess when he went over there, they flipped him on me. And then all of a sudden, the big thing was, since he got 3 years probation for his first manufacturing charge, he had to go around and set people up. So they worked together. They took my friend that I'd known since 5th grade, turned him against them, and sent him out on a personal vendetta against me along with his family in order to try and murder me and set me up. So basically, they put a bunch of LSD and shit in my meth. Freaked me out real bad. I would go over to his house and be like, my grandpa lost a gun. Kidnapping's only a Class B felony. This, that, and that. And then he'd give me a shot of meth because he was trying to set me up with a meth lab after that. And he told me it was a good way to get through the dope sickness. And then basically I'd be hallucinating. I thought I was hallucinating at the time, and he'd be banging on my back window with a gun. And then I had feelings for dumb shit sister, my main protagonist. So they hallucinated me up again, looked through the back window. I see them 2 fucking. She's got a gun to her head while they're fucking in my backyard. They pretended to hide a dead body in my backyard and drove me crazy to the point I had a seizure and told me every day to kill myself. And while they were doing this to drive me crazy, to make me, they went around, since he was snitching for people, said that I was the one snitching. So town from Grant County to Covington to everyone in Northern Kentucky, everybody thought I was a snitch and a rat and a CI. That's what these people did to go to the lengths to cover up the fact that they snitched on him, and then he was out there trying to set up and snitch on me. And then, years later, he got hit again with another meth lab. After he just got off with his probation and everything again, I already know they're the ones who told on him again because he was a loose end to cover him up. And that's why he ended up getting 15 years in jail. Basically, after they did that to me, they didn't really bother me too much until after, I slipped my wrist. At a fucking, GLC. Get a good one there. From them telling me to kill myself every day. Because every time I get high, when you think your soulmate's out there being raped and shit, but you think it's all hallucination, but it all turns out to be fucking real. The scar on my chest right here, overdosed myself in a hotel room. After I did all that, they realized they didn't just have a snitching story to cover up anymore. They had attempted murder charges that they had to cover up from where they tried to murder me back in 2015 and 16. So I guess everything just kind of fell off until they found out, I was trying to remember what happened to me. And then that's when all the smear and slander campaign in 2016, and then a smear and slander campaign again in 2022. And that's pretty much the basis, start, and story for how my gang stalking got started.